Even if you're on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there.
Life would be unbearably dull if we had answers to all our questions.
Don't own so much clutter that you will be relieved to see your house catch fire. Do not go where the path may lead. Tragedy and adversary are the stones we sharpen our swords against so we can fight new battles. The world is wide, and I will not waste my life in friction when it could be turned into momentum. One day, all those late nights and early mornings will pay off.
To think too long about doing a thing often becomes its undoing. He who requires much from himself and little from others will keep himself from being the object of resentment.
At first, they'll only dislike what you say, but the more correct you start sounding, the more they'll dislike you. Losing your life is not the worst thing that can happen. The worst thing is to lose your reason for living.
All men know the use of the useful, but nobody knows the use of the useless. My fear was not of death itself, but a death without meaning.
The free mind, unafraid of labor, presses on to attain the good. The only thing that makes life possible is permanent, intolerable uncertainty, not knowing what comes next. Flaming enthusiasm, backed by horse sense and persistence, is the quality that most frequently makes for success. I think the highest and lowest points are the important ones. Anything else is just in between. A strange thing, words. Once they're said, it's hard to imagine they're untrue. It is not easy to keep silent when silence is a lie. Properly practiced, knitting soothes the troubled spirit, and it doesn't hurt the untroubled spirit either. You make the world a better place by making daily improvements to become the best version of yourself. Life gives us choices. You either grab on with both hands and just go for it, or you sit on the sideline.
Where you are in a few months depends on what you do today.
We suffer more in imagination than in reality. All you need in this life is ignorance and confidence, then success is sure. When you choose one way out of many, all the ways you don't take are snuffed out like candles, as if they'd never existed.
No persons are more frequently wrong than those who will not admit they are wrong.
Be a life long or short, its completeness depends on what it was lived.
Make visible what, without you, might perhaps never have been seen.
It is when things are at worst you will get the best. When you hold a grudge, you want someone else's sorrow to reflect your level of hurt, but the two rarely meet. The greatest win is walking away and choosing not to engage in drama and toxic energy at all. There are two tragedies in life. One is to lose your heart's desire. The other is to gain it. You pray for rain, you gotta deal with the mud too. That's a part of it. The best way to prepare for life is to begin to live. If beautiful lilies bloom in ugly waters, you too can blossom in ugly situations.
In my deepest wound, I saw your glory, and it dazzled me. Time is precious, but truth is more precious than time. Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. It is better to be divided by truth than united in error. You know, there's no such thing as a complete lie. There's always some truth in there. It is an acceptance of being uncomfortable that drives change.
Sometimes the hardest part isn't letting go, but rather learning to start over. We are born from a quiet sleep, and we die to a calm awakening. Things will get easier. People's minds will change, and you should be alive to see it. If you can't control your peanut butter, you can't expect to control your life. They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I think the same could be said for time.
Either in conflict with others or in harmony with them, we go through life like a runaway horse, unable to stop. Unless you enter the tiger's lair, you cannot get hold of the tiger's cubs. There is no greater danger than underestimating your opponent.
The moment you recognize what is beautiful in this world, you stop being a slave. Es ist nicht genug zu wissen, man muss auch anwenden. Es ist nicht genug zu wollen, man muss auch tun.
He who is highly esteemed is not easily conspired against.
To forgive is wisdom, to forget is genius and easier. Because it's true, it's a new world every heartbeat.
Creativity is intelligence having fun.
You are willing to die, you coward, but not to live.
Weak people revenge, strong people forgive, intelligent people ignore.
Never put off for tomorrow what is meant for today. Tomorrow may never come. A wise man gets more use from his enemies than a fool from his friends.
You will find the key to success under the alarm clock. It is better to live one day as a lion than 100 years as a sheep.
One who makes himself a worm cannot complain afterwards if people step on him. Just because people run after you doesn't mean they can't stay away from you. Don't take anyone for granted.
She will always wear her crown, regardless of the hate. Sometimes the questions are complicated and the answers are simple. The only real battle in life is between hanging on and letting go.
If we thought more for ourselves, we would have very many more bad books and very many more good ones.
Always blow your own trumpet. Blowing someone else's is unhygienic.
If you do not believe you are disciplined, it is because you have not decided to become disciplined. There is no dark side of the moon, really. As a matter of fact, it's all dark. You couldn't erase everything that caused you pain with recollection. Every memory was valuable, even the bad ones. Berterima kasihlah pada segala yang memberi kehidupan. All people know the same truth. Our lives consist of how we choose to distort it. No man ever threw away life while it was worth keeping. Go ahead and believe that no one shines brighter than you. Become amazing and be happy. What we fear doing most is usually what we most need to do. To live is so startling, it leaves little time for anything else. Sometimes we tolerate unacceptable behavior from others because we don't know we deserve better.
Do not use life to give life to death. Do not use death to bring death to life.
We never know which lives we influence or when or why. But I do know which is the least popular. The truth. Beauty exists not in what is seen and remembered, but in what is felt and never forgotten. If you get tired, learn to rest, not to quit.
If what one has to say is not better than silence, then one should keep silent.
That's the problem with memories. You can visit them, but you can't live in them. Don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion.
People wealth consists upon their freedom, individual resources, and good social life. We cannot change the cards we are dealt, just how we play the hand. A life fueled by passions is like riding on the back of a dragon. People who keep stiff upper lips find that it's damn hard to smile.
Integrity is a powerful force, keeping you alive to others long after you've left their presence.
If you know yourself, but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. Never give up. Things that you keep dreaming about will happen one day.
All the stuff you can't wait to get away from until it's not there anymore. And then you miss it like crazy. The easy confidence with which I know another man's religion is folly teaches me to suspect that my own is also. Amateurs sit and wait for inspiration. The rest of us just get up and go to work.
Failure is not when you fail once, but when you refuse to learn from your mistake.
Never limit your view of life by any past experience. When a language dies, a way of understanding the world dies with it, a way of looking at the world.
And regulation entails organizational effectiveness, a chain of command, and a structure for logistical support.
You can't stay in your corner of the forest waiting for others to come to you. You have to go to them sometime. I just want someone to hear what I have to say, and maybe if I talk long enough, it'll make sense.
Small good decisions will lead you to the glorious path of success.
Do the hard jobs first. The easy jobs will take care of themselves.
Never tell the truth to people who are not worthy of it.
A man must not be without shame, for the shame of being without shame is shamelessness indeed.
All the world is made of faith and trust and pixie dust. Music in the soul can be heard by the universe. Never get bitter. Life is a medley of good and bad ingredients.
Trusting yourself means living out what you already know. Be true.
If a man takes no thought about what is distant, he will find sorrow near at hand.
You should never be surprised when someone treats you with respect. You should expect it. The simple step of a courageous individual is not to take part in the lie. One word of truth outweighs the world.
At times, even a 90% compatibility rate ends in a breakup.
In this lifetime we meet and part like passing clouds. Build yourself a life or a career where you can afford to sleep peaceful at night.
Cherish that which is in you and shut out that which is without, for much knowledge is a curse. There is more to life than simply increasing its speed. Do not fear the thorns in your path, for they draw only corrupt blood.
If you can't do anything about it, laugh like hell.
A lion chased me up a tree, and I greatly enjoyed the view from the top.
A need for revenge can burn long and hot, especially if every glance in a mirror reinforces it. If a man confessed anything on his deathbed, it was the truth, for no man could stare death in the face and lie. And in the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it is the life in your years. Believe in your heart that you're meant to live a life full of passion, purpose, magic, and miracle. Earthlings went on being friendly when they should have been thinking instead.
We must live together as brothers, or perish together as fools.
In life, you always see the darkest days before the sunshine. If you change who you are to suit other people, you may end up dressed for the wrong occasion. It's as simple as that, simple and complicated as most true things are.
You need mountains. Long staircases don't make good hikers.
Take your victories, whatever they may be, cherish them, use them, but don't settle for them. You are art, you are a masterpiece, treat yourself as such. If you can spend a perfectly useless afternoon in a perfectly useless manner, you have learned how to live. I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it. They might pay you to vote for them, but having a wrong government in place, you pay it with your life.
If you concentrate on small, manageable steps, you can cross unimaginable distances.
Nothing has to be true forever, just for long enough. One of the greatest journeys in life is overcoming insecurity and learning to truly not give a shit. Man is a clever animal who behaves like imbecile. Many people pray to be kept out of unexpected problems. Some people pray to be able to confront and overcome them.
He who pursues fame at the risk of losing his self is not a scholar. Sometimes one pays most for the things one gets for nothing.
Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. A wise man will make more opportunities than he finds.
Sand lines my soul, which is filled with the breath of the ocean.
He who writes well runs the civilization. Everyone else does the grunt work. Be the person that will take the first step towards personal success. You will be remembered for.
3 rules of work. Out of clutter, find simplicity. From discord, find harmony. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity.
The mind once enlightened cannot again become dark. The darkening of the world makes the irrationality of art rational, radically darkened art. Nothing is necessitated whose opposite is possible. Rise above the storm, and you will find the sunshine. The most believable lies are the ones that are at least a little bit true. You can't reach what's in front of you until you let go of what's behind you.
Great understanding is broad and unhurried. Little understanding is cramped and busy. He who wishes to fight must first count the cost.
Life is a journey that necessitates progress. Keep moving, because each step brings you closer to your goals. Great is truth, but still greater from a practical point of view is silence about truth.
Earth's crammed with heaven, but only he who sees takes off his shoes.
Go after what you want in life. Don't just talk about it. Take a step, run. But this wealth of information produced little or no insight. Without balance, a life is no longer worth the effort. Life is short. If you doubt me, ask a butterfly. Their average lifespan is a mere 5 to 14 days. I'm very polite by nature. Even the voices in my head let each other finish their sentences.
Genius is measured not by static volume, but by kinetic vision. A clever person solves a problem. A wise person avoids it.
Maybe this is why we read, and why in moments of darkness we return to books to find words for what we already know. My feelings are too loud for words and too shy for the world.
The space under the sky is occupied by all things in their unity. Politeness is the first thing people lose once they get the power.
Believe in your infinite potential. Your only limitations are those you set upon yourself. Until justice rolls down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream.
He who is not satisfied with a little is satisfied with nothing.
The task of modern man is not to find his inner self, but to create himself.
If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. The cost of being wrong is less than the cost of doing nothing.
Time heals almost everything. Give it time. Surround yourself only with people who are going to take you higher. There's a tragic clash between truth and the world. Pure, undistorted truth burns up the world.
There's nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's what's in yourself that makes you happy or unhappy.
You don't get paid for the hour, You get paid for the value you bring to the hour.
Most of what matters in our lives takes place in our absence. You fall because you are human and rise because you are divine.
It was hard to live normally when you were constantly pretending you didn't see what was going on in front of your face. An intelligent man is one who acknowledges his intelligence as that of those who surround him.
The tragedy of life is what dies inside a man while he lives. Maybe some things aren't meant to be known. Maybe they're just meant to be accepted.
If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. You don't, you'll find an excuse.
You know, the minute you stop thinking about it, it'll happen.
When we are tired, we are attacked by ideas we conquered long ago.
Let your mind wander in the pure and simple. Be one with the infinite. Let all things take their course. It's such a shame to waste time. We always think we have so much of it.
When we venture in that unfamiliar sea, we trust blindly in those who guide us, believing that they know more than we do. Don't bother just to be better than your contemporaries or predecessors. Try to be better than yourself.
Receive with simplicity everything that happens to you.
Don't find fault, find a remedy. Anybody can complain.
In fact, the truth cannot be communicated until it is perceived.
Feet sandaled with dreams tread paths of vision, leading to wisdom's sharp peaks. Sometimes a little discomfort in the beginning can save a whole lot of pain down the road. That truth should be silent. I had almost forgot.
I'm just doing me, and to me, that's what got me this far. Life is like an onion. You peel it off one layer at a time, and sometimes you weep.
The soul exists partly in eternity and partly in time. Even a blind man knows when the sun is shining. Those who are without compassion cannot see what is seen with the eyes of compassion. Your life will not end with death. You are immortal. You are always there, and you always will be. It is evident as a matter of logic that since they disagree, not more than one of them can be true. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. Bitter though it may be to many, Cadfael concluded, there is no substitute for truth, in this or any case. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, that is all. Every man should lose a battle in his youth, so he does not lose a war when he is old. The average passenger eats enough calories to keep them weight gain a year old for a week and a half. Never give up on anybody. Miracles happen every day.
It is the privilege of the gods to want nothing, and of godlike men to want little. An unexciting truth may be eclipsed by a thrilling falsehood.
I never dreamed about success. I worked for it.
You are never alone. You are eternally connected with everyone.
Wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it.
Life is short. Live it. Love is rare. Grab it. Anger is bad. Dump it. Fear is awful. Face it. Memories are sweet. Cherish them.
Someone needs to fight. Someone needs to sacrifice. Someone needs to inspire. Someone needs to be a hero. Not everyone is fight-able. Be careful of who you fight.
People are the most difficult thing in the world to change. Sometimes things become possible if we want them bad enough. Your story is remarkable, even if you don't know it yet. I like people who refuse to speak until they are ready to speak.
It's more fun to think of the future than dwell on the past. You can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. And though you think the world is at your feet, it can rise up and tread on you.
To have a human form of a joyful thing, but in the universe of possible forms, there are others just as good.
In the future, there will be no female leaders. There will just be leaders.
There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you.
The future is something which everyone reaches at the rate of 60 minutes an hour. Whatever he does, whoever he is.
Man doesn't know what he is capable of until he is asked.
Problems are not stop signs, they are guidelines. In the book of life, the answers aren't in the back. The essence of life does not consist in the lushness of your possession, but in the richness of your heart.
Don't share your personal life with anyone. Do not let anyone have anything that could harm you.
Sometimes problems don't require a solution to solve them. Instead, they require maturity to outgrow them.
Do it now. Sometimes later becomes never.
Where there are bees, there are flowers, and wherever there are flowers, there is new life and hope. It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. I want to dream a dream so wonderful that I'll wake up sorry that it wasn't a memory. Your future needs you, your past doesn't. Remake the world, a little at a time, each in your own corner of the world. All the darkness in the world cannot extinguish the light of a single candle.
The money you make is a symbol of the value you create. Always know the difference between what you're getting and what you deserve.
It has become appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity.
If the enemy has occupied them before you, do not follow him, but retreat and try to entice him away. If truth is not acceptable, it becomes the imagination of others. Never say anything about yourself you don't want to come true.
You never change your life until you step out of your comfort zone. Change begins at the end, your comfort zone. The truth is usually left for us to hunt and gather independently if we are so inclined. Common sense, in an uncommon degree, is what the world calls wisdom.
Sometimes you recognize truth because it destroys you for a bit.
You can't change the wind, but you can set your sails.
There's no clarity. There was never meant to be clarity.
We are the sum of all people we have ever met. You change the tribe, and the tribe changes you. The minute I stopped trying to find the right girl and started trying to become the right guy, the girl came. You choose how you feel, you choose what you do, you choose who you are.
Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished.
Your future is in direct proportion to what you do in the present.
Never feel guilty or ashamed for the mistakes of others.
The trouble with fiction, said John Rivers, is that it makes too much sense. Reality never makes sense.
Most of what I say is complete truth. My edit button is broken. It is a very natural human trait to destroy that which frightens us.
Anyone who fights for the future lives in it today. That which can be destroyed by the truth should be. Life has more imagination than we carry in our dreams.
The most wasted of all days is one without laughter.
It is never too late to be what you might have been. Change your life today. Don't gamble on the future. Act now without delay.
Excuses are merely nails used to build a house of failure.
Everything that happens before death is what counts.
In order to be yourself, you must first know who you are.
The most dangerous irony is, people are angry with others because of their own incompetence. When the world throws rocks at you, turn them into diamonds. Life always begins with one step outside of your comfort zone.
Success, for most people, requires unlearning as much as learning.
The truth cuts like the sharpest knife I've ever known.
The truth doesn't cost anything, but a lie could cost you everything. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle.
You have to be transparent, so you no longer cast a shadow, but instead let the light pass through you.
Other people's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. Stay in the center, and you will be ready to move in any direction.
Don't waste your time in anger, regrets, worries, and grudges. Life is too short to be unhappy.
Life is not measured by what you have. It's measured by what you give. You ask me if I keep a notebook to record my great ideas. I've only ever had one.
It is rare for people to be asked the question which puts them squarely in front of themselves. The only person that has power to put boundaries on your dreams is you. There comes a time in your life when you have to choose to turn the page, write another book, or simply close it.
Human beings must have action, and they will make it if they cannot find it.
If you've got the truth, you can demonstrate it. Talking doesn't prove it.
A path doesn't appear on its own. We've to make it, and we can make it. I admire those who do good and expect nothing in return.
Success does not consist in never making blunders, but in never making the same one a second time. Today I bent the truth to be kind, and I have no regret, for I am far surer of what is kind than I am of what is true.
The spirit tower has its guardian, but unless it understands who its guardian is, it cannot be guarded.
I have never seen or heard of such a fish, but I must kill him. I am glad we do not have to try to kill the stars. Liberty without learning is always in peril, and learning without liberty is always in vain. Of life's two chief prizes, beauty and truth, I found the first in a loving heart, and the second in a laborer's hand. Whatever their future, at the dawn of their lives, men seek a noble vision of man's nature and of life's potential. Decide how badly you want it, then proceed accordingly. Somebody once said, if it's something a single book can explain, it's not worth having explained.
Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. You must take life the way it comes at you and make the best of it. All men know the utility of useful things, but they do not know the utility of utility.
In order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different. Great goals make great people. People cannot hit what they do not aim for.
I only want to write, and there's no college for that, except life. Either you want change or you want comfort, but you can't have both. Not every instance requires a response. Truth resides silently in the seat of power.
Please go for your dreams. Whatever your ideals, you can become whatever you want to become.
When people try to bury you, remind yourself you are a seed.
You have to rise above the squabbling and chaos and keep believing. You have to always keep your goals in mind. We often think of failure as a negative experience, but it can teach us so much if we are open to learning from it.
Having nothing to struggle against, they have nothing to struggle for.
Consistency is the true foundation of trust. Either keep your promises or do not make them.
Sometimes I think my head is so big because it is so full of dreams.
If the highest aim of a captain were to preserve his ship, he would keep it in port forever. If you want to tell the world who you are, then the world must first show what you do.
Memory can make a thing seem to have been much more than it was.
Integrity is doing what is right and truthful, and doing as you say you would do. If everyone helps to hold up the sky, then one person does not become tired. All men want, not something to do with, but something to do, or rather something to be. You are a wonderful creation. You know more than you think you know, just as you know less than you want to know. There are ships sailing to many ports, but not a single one goes where life is not painful.
If a craftsman wants to do good work, he must first sharpen his tools. Don't chase. Elevate your game and be someone worth chasing after. You never fail until you stop trying. Stay calm. You've been through this before. You'll get through it again.
Always be open to inspiration. You never know where it may come from. Begin with an open mind, end with an inspired heart.
Deeds will not be less valiant because they are unpraised. The easiest way to be reborn is to live and feel life every day.
We cannot go far in life if we only take the path that everyone is taking. Don't dwell on things. Don't stay in one place too long. It was the only way to stay ahead of sadness.
It can only take a moment to waste the rest of your life. Thoughts become things. If you see it in your mind, you will hold it in your hand.
Always have a willing hand to help someone. You might be the only one that does. If you have joy in your heart, even the most mundane moments will become extraordinary.
Every team has its weakness, and every team has its strength.
Not only are we all unique, we're also all connected. Therefore, it makes no sense that you could ever be rejected. Life is a long, agonized illness only curable by death.
What you do is what matters, not what you think or say or plan.
When no one you know tells the truth, you learn to see under the surface. Summer is for surrendering, winter is for wondering. Not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear your path.
In the desire to control others, we lose control over ourselves.
I've always liked the moonless night best. It's easier to say things in the dark. It's easier to be yourself. Listen with curiosity, speak with honesty, act with integrity. The thermometer of success is merely the jealousy of the malcontents. Becoming well known is the most valuable element in the connection process.
Everyone who got to where they are had to begin where they were.
The expert in battle seeks his victory from strategic advantage and does not demand it from his men. Don't panic. It's normal to get lost every once in a while. Caught up in a whirlwind, sometimes winds too get lost. The simple things are also the most extraordinary things, and only the wise can see them. The only person who can pull me down is myself, and I'm not going to let myself pull me down anymore. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. A true friend doesn't have guts. They beat you up and later plead with you to beat them back. I'm not going to limit myself just because people won't accept the fact that I can do something else.
Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself.
You don't chase darkness out of the room with a knife or a broom. Instead, you turn on the light.
Because you can only die once, but you can suffer forever.
Fitness is vital for sportsperson. I never take it for granted. My fitness mantra is healthy eating and daily exercise. My one regret in life is that I am not someone else. Never mourn the loss of innocence, because it always brings the much greater gain of wisdom.
Faster, faster, until the thrill of speed overcomes the fear of death.
The opportunity to secure ourselves against defeat lies in our own hands.
If I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way.
As long as your ideas of what's possible are limited by what's actual, no other idea has a chance. I do not know what the heart of a rascal may be, but I know what is in the heart of an honest man. It is horrible. Tried living in the real world instead of a shell, but I was bored before I even began. You were given life. It is your duty to find something beautiful within life, no matter how slight. We don't meet people face to face, but waste our time on social media's embrace.
The essence of knowledge is having it to use it.
Those guys who want to have the mohawk, which to me is the new business casual. Be noble like the sun. Let even those who resent you for shinning benefit from your warmth.
The scholar does not consider gold and jade to be precious treasures, but loyalty and good faith. When you trip over love, it is easy to get up, but when you fall in love, it is impossible to stand again.
Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. My head'll explode if I continue with this escapism. Your life begins to change the day you take responsibility for it. Leaders must be close enough to relate to others, but far enough ahead to motivate them. It's easy to talk big, but the important thing is whether or not you clean up the shit. All those who try to unveil the mysteries always have tragic lives. At the end, they are always punished.
Sometimes your only available transportation is a leap of faith. Be careful who you trust. Salt and sugar look the same. Conformity to the present is invisibility to the future. Having the life of your dreams is simple. Make conscious choices.
There is force in the universe, which, if we permit it, will flow through us and produce miraculous results. The nobler sort of man emphasizes the good qualities in others and does not accentuate the bad. The inferior does. The thing about lying to your parents is, you have to do it to protect them. It's for their own good. The timing of your struggle depends on how resistant you are to your molding. Striving for success without hard work is like trying to harvest where you haven't planted. It's not enough to be nice in life. You've got to have nerve. Wanting to be someone else is a waste of who you are. The greatest blessing granted to mankind come by way of madness, which is a divine gift. Dead yesterdays and unborn tomorrows, why fret about it, if today be sweet?